The drama surrounding the Raiders right now has nothing to do with draft boards or coaching rumors, even though that's where everyone's attention seems to be drifting. The real story is unfolding on the field, in real time, over the final 4 games of this season. And somehow, that's exactly what most people are choosing to ignore. Instead of watching these weeks as the clearest evaluation window the franchise will get before the offseason, the conversation has already jumped ahead to April and January, as if the games in front of us are meaningless. That mindset is dangerous, because these final 4 matchups are quietly going to answer every major question this team has been arguing about all year. There is something fundamentally broken about the timeline right now. The Raiders are still suiting up. They are still lining up against real opponents. They are still putting players in situations that reveal who belongs and who doesn't. Yet the noise around tanking, draft position, and hypothetical coaching hires has completely drowned out the importance of what's happening snap by snap. These next 4 weeks are not filler episodes. They are the test. And the decisions made during this stretch will matter far more than any mock draft or speculative rumor circulating online. Yes, the playoffs are off the table. That part is settled. But development does not stop just because postseason dreams are gone. In fact, this is when development becomes brutally honest. These games strip away excuses. They expose weaknesses. They show who can compete when the pressure shifts from chasing wins to proving value. You cannot evaluate a roster by sitting players, mailing in performances, or intentionally losing. You learn nothing that way. You build nothing that way. And expecting to magically flip a switch when training camp rolls around is how franchises stay stuck in the same cycle year after year. Quarterback is at the center of this debate, as it always is. Geno Smith struggled, opened the season with some momentum, and now finds himself sidelined with a shoulder injury. Whether that injury is seen as bad luck or perfect timing depends on perspective, but the result is the same. Kenny Pickett is getting the start. Aiden O'Connell is still not ready. And suddenly, Pickett has a rare second chance that many quarterbacks never get. He was thrown into chaos in Pittsburgh, expected to carry a franchise without stability, and written off before the environment around him ever made sense. Now he has another opportunity to show he belongs in this league, not as a savior, but as a legitimate NFL quarterback who can function within a system. This is exactly why the obsession with tanking feels premature. A recent poll among Raiders fans revealed something telling. More than half want to tank for a top pick and draft a quarterback. Less than a quarter want to focus on winning. That tells you where the frustration is being aimed. The quarterback position has become the scapegoat. Not the offensive line. Not the structure. Not the support system. Just the most visible player on the field. And that instinct is understandable, but it may also be completely wrong. Before this franchise even thinks about spending a first-round pick on another quarterback, it has to answer a much more uncomfortable question. What kind of situation are they actually offering that quarterback? Because the league has already given us the blueprint for how this goes. One rookie lands in the right environment and flourishes immediately. Another lands in dysfunction and gets swallowed whole. The difference has very little to do with raw talent. Look at the contrast around the league. A quarterback like Bo Nix steps into a situation where the infrastructure works, and suddenly the wins follow. The confidence builds. The trajectory goes up. Meanwhile, another highly touted quarterback enters a broken environment, and the record looks eerily familiar. Losses pile up. Pressure mounts. Confidence erodes. Same position. Same hype. Completely different outcome. The common denominator is not the quarterback. It's everything around him. That's why the calls to tank for a quarterback ring hollow. If drafting talent alone solved everything, there would be far fewer struggling teams. Tennessee wouldn't look like a mirror image of the Raiders. A first overall pick would fix dysfunction overnight. But that's not reality. Reality is that quarterbacks fail when protection fails, when play calling fails, when development plans fail. And drafting another young passer into that same situation does not reset the clock. It just repeats the cycle. That's where the Diego Pavia conversation becomes interesting. A talented college quarterback. A dual threat. A Heisman finalist. A player who openly says he wants to be a Raider. On paper, that kind of interest is exciting. His numbers jump off the screen. His playmaking ability is real. But even with all of that, he is not being universally viewed as a top-tier draft prospect. He's projected later. He's undersized. He carries questions that would normally push him out of the first round. And that's exactly why this could actually make sense if handled correctly. Taking a quarterback later allows the franchise to address what has truly been holding this team back. The trenches. The offensive line. The foundation that determines whether any quarterback, veteran or rookie, has a fighting chance. You can survive with imperfect quarterback play if the line holds. You cannot survive elite quarterback play if the protection collapses. The Raiders already have options at quarterback. Pickett has experience. O'Connell has shown flashes. Neither has been given the benefit of a stable offensive line. Neither has been placed in a position where success feels inevitable rather than unlikely. Blowing everything up at quarterback before fixing the environment is backwards. Building the line first gives every quarterback on the roster a fair evaluation and gives the next one a real chance to succeed. Imagine an offensive line that actually works as a unit. A line that protects the pocket. A line that opens running lanes. A line that allows the offense to function on schedule instead of in survival mode. That changes everything. Suddenly, play calling opens up. Timing improves. Confidence grows. And the quarterback conversation becomes far less desperate. Coaching, of course, looms over all of this. There are reports of past interest in defensive leadership, names that could resurface, and speculation about future changes. Those conversations will happen when the season ends. But even coaching evaluations depend on what happens over these final 4 games. How players respond. How adjustments are made. How competitive the team looks against tough opponents. Those details matter far more than rumors. The remaining schedule is not forgiving. Philadelphia, Houston, Kansas City. These are not games you tank your way through. These are games that reveal toughness, discipline, and growth. Even the matchup that looks more manageable still matters, because it shows whether the team can handle expectations. Every snap is data. Every drive is information. Hat information should shape the offseason more than any hypothetical scenario. The Raiders do not need to lose intentionally to learn what they have. They need to compete. They need to evaluate. They need to see who rises when the spotlight is no longer about playoff hopes, but about professional pride and future roles. These 4 games are the truth serum. Ignore them, and the franchise risks making decisions based on emotion instead of evidence. So now it comes down to perspective. Do you see these final weeks as meaningless, or as the most important evaluation period of the year? Do you believe the quarterback is the core problem, or do you believe the foundation has been cracked long before the ball is ever snapped? And if you were making the call, would you spend that first-round pick chasing hope, or would you invest it in stability? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you're tired of skipping ahead and want real analysis on what actually matters for the Raiders moving forward, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. The season isn't over yet, and the answers everyone's arguing about are still being written on the field right now.